Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I'm sure by now you all have heard about those two young black lawmakers who staged a protest on the Tennessee State House floor. And the protest was demanding gun control after that shooting that took place in Nashville, Tennessee. This shooter killed three 9-year-old students and three adults. And so these brothers are demanding that there be reasonable gun control laws in Tennessee to prevent those kind of tragedies from happening in the future. So they staged a protest. And a white woman joined them in that protest, and her name is Gloria Johnson. These two young brothers, again, they're Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. These young brothers are in their 20s. This white woman is 60 years old. And the state legislature, that is predominantly Republican, decided to vote to expel those two black brothers. And they decided to keep the white woman, the same white woman that participated in the exact same protest. So here you have a situation where the black lawmakers are expelled and this white woman is allowed to remain in office. And that's nothing but a clear, blatant, obvious example of racism, because here you have a situation where they were all participating in a protest. And again, this is a reminder just about the racist nature of the Republican Party today. This party is a racist party. This is a party that panders to white supremacists. This is a party that is diametrically opposed to the interests of black people. And if you don't have a clue by now, you should have a clue right now following this blatant and obvious example of racism on the part of the Republican Party. Make no mistake about it, it was the Republicans that voted to expel those two brothers. And this issue is bigger than those two brothers. This is about depriving the people of democracy. Those two brothers were elected by the people of their district. They have every right to serve, but yet and still, these brothers were expelled, thereby depriving the people of their districts of their right to representation in the state legislature. This is crazy. This is outrageous. And it's just a prime example of how it is primarily these Republicans standing in the way of reasonable gun control laws being implemented on the state and federal level. How many times are our children going to have to be killed by these mass shooters before some kind of reasonable action is taken? You know, how many of these mass shootings, mass killings must take place before these lawmakers actually decide to do something? Out of an act of desperation, those three lawmakers decided to protest on the floor of their house. And it's just a shame that politics have gotten to this point where they're not willing to even listen to these lawmakers that want to see reasonable gun control laws implemented. So they're forced to engage in these types of actions. And I hope that those brothers are restored to their positions in the Tennessee legislature. You know, I hope that they are, because this is absolutely outrageous. And it should be a reminder to each and every one of you of who these Republicans are, of what these Republicans are. It should be a reminder of the racist history of Tennessee. You got all these other state lawmakers that have done all kinds of things, but they haven't been expelled. They are still in office. But when it comes to these two young black men, they decided to expel them. And that's obvious and blatant racism. And it's time for people to speak up and to demand more. And the one good thing about this is that instead of having the desired effect of just eliminating those two brothers, it has heightened their profile. It has heightened the urgency and the information about this need for reasonable gun control laws in this country. So I commend those brothers for taking a bold stand, for standing up against tyranny, for standing up against these spineless lawmakers who allow these mass murders to take place. Blood is on all of those lawmakers' hands who refuse to implement reasonable gun control laws. And I think that it's time to accelerate the protests. It's one thing, everybody, rightfully expects lawmakers to reason and compromise and work out deals and reach reasonable results and all that kind of stuff. But when you have a legislature who's blind, deaf, and dumb, a legislature that doesn't want to be reasonable, a legislature that doesn't want to listen to the people, doesn't want to implement reasonable changes, then it comes a point where even the state legislatures, members of the state legislature, these members who are lawmakers, when it comes to a point where they even have to join the protests. So I commend those brothers. I hope that they are restored to office, and everybody in the state of Tennessee and around the country needs to support these brothers and demand that they be returned to their positions so that they can represent the people. This is nothing but a modern day coup d'etat by those Republicans in Tennessee.